So what's being looked for is when the stochastics, has, dipped below for a long setup, or, has crossed above the 80, so these are the 80 and 20 lines, or crossed above the 80 for a potential short setup here. All right, so that's what we're looking at. That's condition 1. The second condition, let's see here, let's grab an arrow. Second condition is we need to make sure that these two EMAs, so we have a 10 and a 20 EMA, and so we need to make sure that the fast EMA is above the slower EMA, also when the stochastic, makes a pullback below 20 here. So so those two conditions have to occur together. And then the last condition is, let's see, we're looking for the first up bar. Yeah, there we go. So here's our first up bar. And then that first up bar marks the signal. That would be the signal bar there. And we can see here that actually this first up bar occurs after, in this case, it occurs after the stochastics has moved above the 20 level there. So that's okay. It's really, so we're looking for, so the setup conditions, right, is the stochastics, below 20 or above 80, the EMAs, being in agreement with each other, or in agreement with the direction of the trade, I should say. So in other words, the fast EMA needs to be above the slow EMA for a long, and vice versa for a short. And so once these two conditions, when they line up, then we wait for the next up bar for a long, or a down bar for a short situation. All right, so there we go. 3 rules basically in this system. So with that, let's get building here. All right, let's move over to the logic board. Disconnect my data feed. All right, let's see. What should we call this? All right, so there we go. Kind of shorthand, all the requirements for this. So, we're looking at the stochastics. We're looking at the EMAs. And then we also want to find the first bar, in the direction of the, of the trade signals there. All right, so let's see. I'm going to grab a threshold solver to identify when the stochastic is below 20 or above 80. All right, let's see here. All right, so we're using the stochastic, and we're using the 20 level for a long and the 80 level for a short. So essentially this sounds like this is looking for pullbacks, right? Okay, so let's put in our stochastics. There we go, there's our stochastics. And no period values we're giving, so we'll just use the default here. However, the K, the percent K is being used in this instead of the D. There you go. We'll select the K. All right, next, let's put our values in here, right? So the higher threshold values have to go first, and then lower threshold values go last, all right? And always remember, so if you're using an upper value and a lower value, always remember to proceed to put in a middle value, right? So the threshold solver does require that these values be in descending order. So let's see here. for longs, we're looking for less than 20, right? So we're going to set that, turn that on. And then for a potential short, we're looking for values greater than 80. So we'll do that. And there we go. So we can see the stochastics, are marked here, right? Here we go, like so, right? Stochastics is below the 20, and we're generating a long output. And whenever the stochastics is above 80, it's generating a short output. Okay, so there's the first part. All right. Second requirement is to make sure that the EMAs are stacked on top of each other correctly, right, with the direction of the trend. So to do that, let's grab a comparison solver. And all right, so we're making sure that the EMA10 is either above or below the EMA20, like so. All right, so let's put those plug those EMAs in here. All right, let's change this to a 10 period. There you go, input A. All right, input B is going to be our EMA20. There we go, the 20 period. And let's see. All right, so far on the chart, yep, our the faster EMA is on top of the slower one. And here we go. So here's a couple of spots where, yep, the faster EMA reverses down or below. So there we go. All right, so that is set up correctly, like so. So we can now grab a AND node, connect these two conditions. All right, so this is kind of the setup or the preconditions happening. So there we go. There's a setup, and now we're looking for the first up bar to occur after this setup condition has happened. So let's see if we can find some short setup conditions. Oh, cool. There's another long setup, and let's see if I can find some short setups. Yeah, here we go. A little bit of a downtrend. And yeah, so there's a short setup. Okay, good. Actually, I'll just work right here on our chart. So there we go. There's our stochastic. And mark those, And of course, we have our EMAs in the right direction. So let's see, now we're looking for the first up bar. There we go. For this short setup, we're looking for the first down bar, like so. All right, so we can see that sometimes it takes several bars, for the setup, between, the stochastic and the EMA setup before we actually get a bar, closing in the right direction, right? Before we get an up bar or down bar. We can see it takes sometimes several bars before that happens here. So what we're going to do is use a signal extender in this case. Signal extender there. Let's take a look at this. What I can see here so far, it looks like 5 bars worked in this situation, but we don't know. It may take more than 5 bars to actually get an up bar or something like that. So you have to kind of determine how many bars do you need to extend the setup condition forward in time. You also might I'm sure mentally, this is kind of one of those things that, you don't think of consciously, but it is in the back of your mind that, when you get the setup condition, intuitively, you're going to place some kind of limit, some kind of limitation on, how long this first up bar can occur, right? So for example, if price just kind of oscillated, we just got a bunch of dojis, going out 10, 20 bars, you're probably just going to pass on taking that first setup bar, as a long signal, right? Usually, setup conditions are only valid for so long, right? You don't wait forever, for some prerequisite setup condition that, happened, many bars ago, and then when you finally get, your first up bar, usually if there's too many bars between or too much time has passed, typically we would intuitively know, that we would just pass on this up bar if it took too long to generate, so that's, so setting some kind of a limit as to how far forward in time you want to extend the setup, it's kind of a, something that we kind of do intuitively here. So, but, just in case, let's say I'll double this out to 10 bars, right? So, so we could potentially wait up to 10 bars. And of course, you can always go in and adjust this, as necessary here. So, and yeah, so there we go. Extended we're going to take the setup condition and extend it forward for 10 bars. And now we need to build the condition that's going to look for the first up bar or down bar. So we need a bar direction solver. And the bar direction solver, it actually has, we adjusted it a couple of years back, or we enhanced it a couple of years back to detect, I forgot what these called. What are they? I think they're gravestones or shooting star dojis, right? Basically, it's when the doji is at the top of the wick or at the bottom of the wick. So here, yeah, so looking at this bar, let's grab an arrow here. Right, this bar, we can see the doji is in the middle of the wicks, so it doesn't have a bar direction. But dojis that are at the ends, at either end of the wicks, are considered to have, a bar direction. So this helps the signal, or I'm sorry, this helps the bar direction work with range bars better, right? So if you want to eliminate dojis and make sure that we actually have an up body or a down body, you can set the minimum bar size. So right now it's set to 0 ticks, right? So a doji is 0 ticks, right? A 0 tick in the body size. So we can actually set a requirement of a 1 tick body size. And there we go. So now you can see all the dojis don't have a bar direction anymore, right? So that doji, no bar direction there. All right, so we have the bar direction. And so now we can connect these two together like so. So let's see here. Let's name this here. All right. So coming out of this AND node is kind of our pre-setup condition here. Right, and then this last AND node with the bar direction would be the signal here. And let's shrink this chart up, take a look here. There we go. All right, so this one Nice clean signal, but sometimes, right, we'll see that if we get multiple down bars, we'll get multiple signals. So we'll want to kind of clean this up, because what's wanted is just the first signal, right? Just the first signal. There. So let's see, to clean that up. Let's see, I could do this one of two ways. I could just grab a signal blocker, which would be easier to understand, or I could reset the signal extender, right? I could turn that signal extender off, based on a bar direction being detected, right? So what I can do is I'm going to take a look back node. Like so. And what this look back node is doing is it's delaying, right? It's delaying the bar direction. It's going to delay it. It's going to delay it by 1 bar because I'm using a displacement. So I'm displacing our bar direction solver here. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look at what this is doing. So if we take a look at, right, the bar with the green arrow, right, that's our up bar here, right? And so we're looking directly at that solver. Now if I take a look at the look back, if we connect that in, right, we can see the bar direction gets shifted forward 1 bar, right? And I want to shift this forward 1 bar because I want to reset the signal extender after the bar direction occurs, right? I don't want to reset the signal extender on our signal bar. I want to wait 1 bar later to reset the signal extender. So that's why we need a look back here. And we can connect that into the reset, like so. And let's see, yeah, we only had 1 up bar, so this is not a good spot to work. Let's go back over here where, yeah, we had multiple signals here. Yeah, let's disconnect this again. Yeah, there we go. So, right, so originally we actually had several signals. Yeah, so this is our setup area. Let's see. I think, let's take a look here. Oops. Yeah, let's mark our setup bar. Right, so this is our setup bar. So with the signal extender, we're taking our setup bar and extending it out 10 bars. Right, so we can see it goes way out here. And so if we take a look at our signals, right, on every down bar, we're getting a signal, right? So that's why we want to basically turn off the signal extender, or we call it resetting the signal extender, right? We want to reset it on the first down bar. So all the down bars afterwards, we want the signal extender turned off. So that's why I'm using this this look back. Yeah, there we go. So I'm taking this look back and connecting it into the reset. And right, so when we do that, there we can see all the extra, the 3 extra signals that we had are now gone. So, all right, that does it. Yeah, let me rename this here so we know what it's doing. So it's displacing by one bar. There. Yeah, so there we go. So this AND node, you know, basically when you look at your logic, pretty much everything in the back, everything on the left is usually the setup conditions, right? That's where your pre-setups usually go. And then as you go forward to the right, that's usually, you know, when you get to the that's when you get to the actual triggering condition that actually triggers the final signal bar, right? So this bar direction, you know, you could say that it's the, you know, this bar direction identifies this signal bar, you know, once we have met our setup conditions here. So we'll take a quick look here, shrink up our chart, and yeah, so here's some things to consider. Yeah. So interesting. You know, it's BloodHound really kind of reveals things that we kind of instinctively know to adjust in our head. So like, for example, this actually was a setup bar. Our EMAs are crossed in the right direction, and our stochastic dipped down below 20. So we did get one bar that qualified as the setup bar, and then 7 bars later, we got our up bar finally. You know, so maybe, you know, you might, I don't know, maybe you know, there might be something about this that kind of disqualifies that setup bar, or basically disqualifies the precondition, right? So yeah, so we had this precondition there, and yeah, we had one bar here where the EMAs were crossed in the right direction. You know, so these are kind of things to consider once you kind of put your system together. You know, is there something about this that would disqualify, you know, this as a long signal? You know, maybe not. You know, but just things that BloodHound will kind of reveal to you as you build your system here. Let's see what happened here. We've got 2 signal bars here. Yeah, it's probably okay, you know, but let's just you know, just as a learning exercise, let's find out why did we get 2 signals here instead of just the one. Why? You know, I'm thinking that it looks like, you know, our signal extender didn't get turned off. So let's take a look at our setup condition. Oh, I see. Yep, that's why. We had 2 up bars actually occurring during the setup. Yeah. So there we go. So we had 2 bars where the stochastics is below 20. And on both of these bars, the EMAs are crossed in the right direction. Yep. Both of our EMAs are, on both bars, our EMAs are crossed in the right direction. So we literally had 2 setup bars, and we had 2 signal bars, right? We had 2 up bars, and we had 2 setup bars. So that's why we actually had 2 bars in a row there. So actually everything's, you know, everything is working according to how this is designed. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we could clean this up if we really wanted to. Yeah, I mean, we could do something like this. You know, we could put a signal blocker in between, you know, in between here. if we really had to get rid of these 2 bars here. So let me, I'll defer that to Jacob if he wants to do that. Okay, let's see here. Jacob's saying, so if the EMA condition breaks while it waits for the I think the first bar direction, or yeah, the next bar direction for entry, it should void the entry. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so what we're saying is, if the EMAs, cross in the wrong direction, that does void the setup. It does void the setup entry. Yeah, so let's go find where that was on the chart. Right here. That's where that happened. Yeah, so basically we have the EMAs crossed in the wrong direction here. So these EMAs crossing in the wrong direction voids the setup there. Yeah, let's see. All right, so we can, yeah, so we're going to have to, we can take our, yeah, we can take this solver and use it to reset the signal extender. All right, so remember this solver here is detecting the, whether the EMAs are crossed up or crossed down, right? And so we can use this to basically, yeah, void out or cancel out the signal extender. So to do that, we're going to need an OR node, right? Because now we have multiple conditions that can void out our setup here, So we'll take that and plug both of those in there. Plug that into the signal extender. So we're gonna look at the signal extender and make sure that the signals aren't being extended, and they're not. Yep, that's it. Yeah, they're not being extended here. So let's just disconnect. Yeah. So if I take this solver, see, I disconnected it from the OR node. So now our signal's extended forward until we get the first up bar. But if I connect this in, right, basically the signal, I shouldn't say signal, but the setup condition, it stopped as soon as the EMAs were crossed in the wrong direction. All right, so let's gonna have to expand this out here, right? Yeah, so we can see on this bar, right, our EMAs are crossed in the right direction, and then the next bar, the EMAs are crossed in the wrong direction, and so that this setup condition ended right there, and it didn't get to extend forward in time, right, waiting for the actual signal bar to occur. Yeah, so there we go. All right, let's just dress this up a little bit. And all right, we'll save that, and we'll take another look through the chart here. Let's see here. All right, yeah. So even remember these signals here that we used to have. So they got canceled out because the EMAs crossed. Yeah, the EMAs crossed up for 1 bar. Yeah, so this 1 bar here canceled the short signal there. And let's see this long signal here. Yep, our EMAs crossed in the wrong direction, before our up bar was able to form. All right, that one's gone. Let's see here. Okay, so there we go. So we have these two long signals here. Let's see this. Yeah, there's nothing in there. Let's go further down the chart. Yeah, so those EMAs do seem to cross very frequently whenever our stochastic, dips below 20 or above 80. Yeah, so it seems like those EMAs are going to cancel a lot of signals there, but good. Here we go. Here's a short. Yeah, there we go. So our stochastic just barely made it across 80 on a down bar. So yeah, so there we go. We finally got a signal. Oh, let's see. Jacob is telling me that actually a signal got blocked. Well, let me double check here. All right, so it's not this signal. The EMAs are crossed down. It's not this one. There is no up bar until way out here. Oh, I see, but the EMAs are crossed back up. All right, I see. So actually, the EMAs crossing don't disqualify the pre-setup. The EMAs crossing actually qualify the signal bar, right? Whether they qualify the up bar or the down bar. Okay, so let's make that adjustment here. Yeah, see, so to build a system, you really have to know, you really got to write everything down here. The devil is always in the details, whether you get, correct signals or not. Okay, so we don't need this OR node. So we can just connect this back in here. But what we do need is this. Remember, this is our EMA condition here, our fast and slow EMAs being crossed in the right direction. So we can take this solver. So this condition, it is a part of the setup, but it's also a component of the signal bar condition as well. So we can plug this into that AND node. Right, so here, I'll do this, make this a little cleaner looking. There. Like so. All right, let's take a look and see what we have now. So that ought to change things quite a bit. Okay, so there we have our long signal back. Let's go back to the end of the chart here, and yeah, so this long is still void because the EMAs are in the wrong direction. However, these shorts here, maybe once the EMAs cross in the right direction, then maybe the first down bar is still valid, because the first down bar, or I should say the second down bar, the first down bar, the EMAs are crossing the wrong direction. So you have to ask yourself, does that void out the whole thing, or do you just wait for another down bar after the EMAs cross each other? So let's see. All right, so Jacob's saying yes, that's a good one. Okay, so we will have to we'll have to make some more adjustments here. Let's see. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't be resetting the signal extender at all. Well, no, actually we should, because see, we're still getting, sometimes we might get 2 or 3 signals in a row. So if we want this to look nice and clean, let's see. Yeah, then what we can do, So I'm going to need another AND node. So really our signal bar actually has a condition to it, right? So our signal bar, which is basically a bar in the direction of the trade or direction of the signal, needs to have the EMAs crossed in the same direction as the bar direction as well. So that, so there actually is kind of a, there is a qualified, bar direction to this. And so, so really, it's not just the bar direction that would reset our signal extender. It's this combination, this qualified or conditional bar direction is actually what would reset our signal extender. So we'll connect that into our lookback node and put that into the signal extender. There. All right, so this, so this AND node identifies essentially our qualified signal bar. Right, so this is a qualified signal bar. So we have to have the EMAs and a bar direction, all in alignment. Right, so that's what's coming out of this AND node. And then we can take this qualified signal bar and then use that to reset our signal extender. There. All right, so let's take a look now here. Let's close this out. All right, so we have our down signal now. And yep, this long signal never materialized. Our EMAs were just in the wrong direction. And there we go. We got our long signal. And luckily, the EMAs crossed just in time for that up bar to materialize. And we actually got two up bars inside the setup condition. Yeah. So we had our stochastic down here, and our EMAs were crossed in the right direction. So the pre-setup and the signal bars all happened on the same time there. So we got two signals, So maybe you could use this to identify, a stronger, if you see two signals, then you got a stronger, maybe consider it a stronger signal. Maybe not, But if you did want to clean this up, if we wanted to really clean that up, I think at this point, let's move that over. Yeah, if we really wanted to clean that up, then at this point, we will need a signal blocker. Put that in there. Like so. And let's see, I'm going to guess we probably don't need to block more than 4 bars, something like that. So we'll just knock it down to 4. And that ought to be good enough. So there you go. All right. So let's continue to kind of scan through here. Yeah, there we go. We had marked this one early on. So that one's still there. Actually, this was obviously good. The EMAs were definitely had a good separation there. Oh, here we go. Here's one to take a look at. So we had our setup back here. Yep, our EMAs were crossed in the right direction. And we did get a couple of up bars here, right? There's 2 up bars. However, the EMAs were crossed in the wrong direction. So, right, obviously, if we wait long enough, eventually our EMAs will cross and then get another up bar. So, there you go. Okay. So, that looked like that worked out good. Let's see here. Yep, our stochastic just made it across the 20 line, and our EMAs are all good. They're all in alignment, and then we got an up bar. So cool. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Good. Short signal to check out. And yeah, so we get the pre-setup. So we got the stochastic and the EMAs, and then we had a down bar, the signal bar, all occurring together on the same bar. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And let's see. So we definitely have the stochastic right direction. The EMAs are in the right direction, and then we actually get a signal bar during the setup. Yep. So cool. So that looks good. All right. Well, there we go, Jacob. I think that does it. Jacob is asking, can an exit be built in case the EMA crosses in the wrong direction? Yeah, absolutely. I just kind of need to know the details of that exit. Yeah, I guess maybe this might be a fairly good example here. So we had our EMAs crossing right there after the short signal. I'm guessing that's kind of what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. So one thing though, some kind of a limit has to be placed on this, right? Because obviously, if we wait long enough, the trend could change. I just know from experience that some kind of limitation probably should be placed after the entry, such as no more than 10 bars. Let's say if a crossover happens, within 10 bars of the entry, then that would be an exit signal. That way, because otherwise, definitely entry signals, because eventually, well, actually, no, that wouldn't be an entry signal. Yeah, well, I guess just one main reason is that, with computers, you do have to put a limitation on, on things. Well, actually, maybe not. If this is just going to be a crossover exit, yeah, if it's just going to be a crossover exit, I guess not. I guess no limitations really needed. Let's see here. So, yeah, really all you want. All right. So we're just going to generate just a real simple kind of dummy crossover signal. And all we need to do is, we don't actually have a crossover solver. All right, yeah, so let's create a simple, let's zoom in here. There. Yeah, so we'll just use a crossover solver. There. All right, so there's our EMA10, and let's put in the EMA20. There. I'll just put exit in the name as well. So yeah, actually kind of thinking about this, yeah, we could just, yeah, this would work just fine as an exit. right? Because there's going to be a lot of signals that are not used, which is fine. Remember, exit signals are ignored if there's no trade open, right? So, so let's see here. Do we? Let's take a look. All right, so we had a long signal way back here. Let's take a look at the exits. Yeah, so we had an exit signal here. So obviously this long trade would have been closed out. And so this exit signal back here, it would just be ignored. So it's actually okay to have too many exit signals, right? So, yeah, so there we go. Pretty simple logic there. And let's see here. Yeah, I mean, we had a bunch of exit signals here, but that's okay because we were not in a trade, right? There was no position, no trade open here, until, and sometimes this exit signal correlated actually lined up with an entry signal, but again, that's okay. This short exit is not going to exit a short entry. So, so basically both of this long and short exit signal just get ignored, right? All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good rest of your day and or have a good weekend. All right. Bye-bye, guys.